Hi guys, welcome to J Journeys. My name is Natalie and today I will guide you through a 45-minute Yin Yoga class where we will really turn our gaze within, cultivate some time for reflection and connection with our inner self. I hope you will enjoy this slow, gentle and introspective practice. Let's begin by finding a comfortable seated position on our mat. You can sit with your legs crossed or rest your hips onto your heels if that feels better for your knees. You can also place a cushion or blanket underneath your hips to elevate them above the knees. Whatever works best for you, find stillness and comfort. Gently closing down your eyes, relaxing your face, softening the space between your eyebrows, unclenching your jaw, and just beginning to arrive here and now. Letting your shoulders fall down and away from your ears, growing tall through the spine. And release anything and everything that has happened up until now today. Beginning to breathe deeply, connecting with your belly, chest, rib cage as you inhale and release it out all the way, drawing your navel towards your spine as you exhale. Now visualize or think about a picture of yourself as a child and keep this image in mind throughout the entire practice. Maybe you were 5 years old, maybe you were 10, whatever picture comes to mind. Bringing the palms of your hands together in front of your heart and set an intention to connect deeply with that innocent child that you carry on the inside. We're going to nurture and pay attention to what wisdom he or she has for us. Breathing deeply into the heart, and then releasing the palms back onto your lap. Just sitting with your awareness in your heart before beginning to make your way over to all fours, and then resting your hips towards your heels and finding your child's pose. Your arms are stretched out in front of you. You can rest your forehead on the mat and really soften into this pose, coming into this present moment. You can relax every single part of your body, every cell, every process is relaxing. And then begin thinking about the 5-year-old you. What advice would he or she give you right now? Is there anything that he or she wants you to know? Or perhaps they just want to remind you of what you loved doing when you were younger, or those laughters, deep belly breaths, laughters that you would find yourself bursting into while doing what you loved. Just stay here in stillness and listen if there is anything coming to you. Breathing deeply into your belly. And staying open throughout the practice to receive insight, clarity, and love from the younger you. Often we can find that our younger selves are very wise, perhaps wiser than we find ourselves as we grow older. Allowing your awareness to rest in your heart throughout the practice. Your heart is a portal. As Paulo Coelho says, in your heart, therein lies your treasure. Continue to stay present with your breath if your mind is wandering. Breathing deeply into your belly. Maybe exhaling through your mouth with an audible sigh to release any stress or tension that you might find in your system. And then beginning to slowly roll back up onto all fours and gently lower your stomach towards the floor, placing your forearms in front of you, elbows beneath your shoulders, forearms and underarms are parallel, and open up your chest, lifting your upper body, finding your Sphinx pose. Chest and heart opens up, whilst your legs and lower body remain on the floor, causing a slight compression in the lower back. Using the core to elevate yourself further, rising up. You can gaze forward or close down your eyes. This is a very healing and restorative pose for our lower back. Finding the balance between strength and ease, and continue to connect with your breath as you release down, lowering your left cheek towards the floor and just resting your spine, coming back into a neutral position, integrating what we just did. Changing sides, placing your right cheek now onto the mat in front of you. And feel supported and held here. Then begin making your way up to a seated position. Opening your feet as wide as the mat is long. Bending into your knees. We're in a wide-legged forward fold here, or we're transitioning towards it, but you can have your knees bent. So you choose your variation. Just begin by sitting upright, and then in your own time, you can begin folding forward. Try to keep your knees pointing up, as well as your toes, feet flexed, and you fold to your capacity. You might come onto your forearms. It might be nice to rest your head on a block or a cushion to fully surrender into this forward fold. And again, connecting back to your inner child and contemplate what would light you up, What would you spend hours doing without even thinking about time passing? What was your most unthought through expression? Maybe you loved singing, dancing, playing of any kind. Maybe you can bring a smile to your face thinking about that pure little human roaming around. And send it some love, maybe even give it a hug. Giving you, the smaller you, a warm embrace. You can affirm you are safe, you are loved, you are held. Then begin walking your hands slightly further forward and see if you can come a bit deeper into this forward fold. If not, don't worry. It's just an exploration of finding your edge, but with grace. And then begin walking your hands back towards center, using your hands underneath your knees to come back into a seated position, swiping your knees from side to side, doing some windshield wipers. And then placing your left knee above your right, bringing your left ankle towards the outside of your right hip. If it's possible, you can also bend into your right knee and place your right ankle towards your left hip. We're finding our shoelace here. So begin just sinking into this pose. Perhaps you want to place a blanket underneath your hips, or you can also place a blanket between your knees if that would feel better. You can begin staying upright, but in your own time, if you would like to go further, you can fold forward over your legs. This is a pretty intense hip stretch, and I am aware that I have pretty open hips, so please don't compare yourself to me. Wherever you are is perfect, and yoga is a process. I've been committed to yoga for more than 5 years, so don't think that it's attainable at first glance. Closing down your eyes here in the forward fold, or if you're in an upright position, bringing awareness towards your hips, inhaling deeply into the space around your hips, and then exhale out with an audible sigh through your mouth, dissolving, letting go of anything that is stagnant or dense in this area. Rick Rubin says, "The goal is always to get closer to your true self." And when we look at our younger version of us, we can probably get some glimpses of who our true self is before the world conditioned or affected us in any way. As children, we are our own little genius, with a very open mind and a very open heart. Through life's circumstances, we might close our mind or close our heart. Conditioning or trauma might cause this little person inside of us to not feel safe and shut down. And then gently begin making your way out of this pose, untwisting your knees and extending your legs in front of you, giving yourself a little shake here, bringing some movement and energy into your legs. And then stacking your right knee above your left, bringing your right ankle towards the left hip. You can stay here, or if you would like to go further, you can also bend your left knee, bringing your left ankle towards your right hip. Beginning to arrive in the pose, settle in, feeling your sitting bones anchored into the earth. And then, if you would like to, you can fold forward, which will intensify an already intense hip opening pose. So be gentle with yourself. When we move beyond our body's integrity, we are violating ourselves, and this is a path of compassion and gentleness and connection to our body. So stay connected and honor your body's limits. We're all very different in how we are constructed, so some people might never be able to do certain poses or find certain depth in certain poses, so honor that as well. We all have different parts of our body that are more naturally open. So let's not go against our nature. Closing down your eyes here. Coming back to your breath. Maybe you can ask yourself what you would daydream about when you were a kid. What did you want to be when you grew up? How did you view yourself in the future? What were your big aspirations? What TV programs did you love? And just sit with these answers. If they don't come to you now, you can always journal after this class and just ask yourself who you were as a child. Some of us drift away from that. Some people are those kind of people that are always the same. Just see this as an invitation to bring more of your inner child into your daily life now. Bringing the joy, the playfulness, the lightness, the ease, that anything is possible, curiosity. All these traits that naturally come to us as children, and that can be a beautiful thing to access as adults. Allowing your hips to fall heavy into the earth. Breathing deeply into your belly, and you can exhale through your mouth, releasing anything that is no longer serving you. Just letting it go as you inhale new, fresh energy, light, life force. And then beginning to walk your hands up to an upright position again, untwisting your legs from each other, and then bringing your feet mat width apart, toes facing out at a 45-degree angle. We're moving into our yogic squat or malasana. So bringing the palms of your hands to touch in front of your heart, placing your elbows on the insides of your knees, pushing your knees into your elbows whilst pushing your elbows into your knees. Through this movement, rising up through the spine, opening the chest, targeting the hips and groins. You can sway from side to side. Maybe challenge yourself by closing down your eyes, finding stillness and balance. Coming back to your breath once again, and then releasing your hands in front of you, extending your hips towards the sky, walking your feet slightly closer to each other, and then coming back into your downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, bending into one knee at a time, move your hips, stretch it out. The first downward dog is always awkward. And then beginning to inhale your right leg towards the sky, three-legged dog, and then exhale to place your right knee towards your right hand and your right foot towards your left hand, melting your hips towards the ground, extending your left leg behind you in a straight line, rising up, extending through the spine, opening the chest. And if you like, you can also begin folding forward into your sleeping swan. If your hips are tight, you can also lie on your back and do a figure 4 stretch, where you place your right ankle onto your left knee and open the right knee towards the side, and threading your hands behind your left thigh or hamstring. Wherever you are, that is exactly where you need to be. And that goes for any situation in life. The intelligence of the universe synchronistically always places us where we should be. So we just need to find acceptance and a non-reactive state to absorb and be present for what is in front of us in the movie of our lives. I would recommend to do some exhales through the mouth here, especially if you're experiencing a lot of sensations in your hip and glute area. Also, be very compassionate and gentle with yourself, because this pose does tend to stir up a lot of emotions, especially for women. So just allow anything that is surfacing to be there. If you need to cry, do so. This is a safe space. And your breath is your greatest tool to breathe through any moments of uncomfortableness or stress or anxiety. Just come back to your breath, inhaling deeply, exhaling fully, affirming to yourself that all is well, you are safe, you are held, you are supported. And I invite you to contemplate what you could do now in your life to honor the needs of your inner child. Sometimes our inner child has not had their needs met at a young age, But the beautiful thing is that we can give ourselves that as adults. Slowly beginning to walk your hands back towards your body, stepping your right foot towards the left at the bottom of your mat. Give your right leg a little shake, releasing what you just did as we prepare for the other side. Inhaling our left leg towards the sky and exhaling to bring the left knee towards our left hand and the left foot towards our right hand, lowering our hips towards the ground, opening up the chest, maybe even gazing up. And then, in your own time, you can fold forward. Feeling your hips falling heavy into the earth, melting through gravity towards your mat. There is no muscles that need to be activated for this pose, so fully surrender and soften. I know that this can be really awkward and your mind or ego might be like, let's get out of this pose, but if you stay, you will discover there's a side of freedom after the uncomfortable sensations. You will feel lighter and more open. And the interesting thing is that what happens on the yoga mat often reflects our life off the yoga mat too. So by showing up for ourselves in this way, we can improve the quality of our lives on the outside, making us less reactive, more compassionate, more connected, more true to ourselves. Coming back to your breath. Again, you might want to do some exhales through the mouth to just fully let go of any murky feelings that might linger or come to surface right now. How can you be more true to yourself in your life right now? And then slowly begin walking your hands back up. Sweep your right leg towards the front of the mat and find a seated position, windshield wiping your knees from side to side, releasing what we just did. And then scooching your hips slightly forward on your mat, making room for you to lie down on your back, bending into your knees, and beginning to extend your legs above and beyond your head, using your hands on the back of your spine to walk your feet towards the back of the mat. Maybe they touch the floor. We're in our snail. Don't you dare move your neck here. Keep your neck straight, gazes up. If you like, you can interlace your hands on the mat, or you keep them on your spine as support. This might be a new or slightly awkward pose, so take it slow as you find how your body adjusts and responds. And just relax into it. coming back to your breath. I guess our breath is the only constant in our lives. So now we've been contemplating our inner child. I now invite you to bring your older self into the picture. What would your 80-year-old self want you to think about, or what advice would they have for you at this point in your life? And then slowly beginning to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, very slowly, using your hands as support to protect your spine, allowing your soles of your feet to touch, letting your knees fall open towards the sides, finding our reclined butterfly pose, placing one hand on our heart and one hand on our stomach, and just integrating what we have done so far in this practice. Affirming that you are safe, you are held, you are whole, you are complete. Breathing deeply into your belly. Feeling your heart beat in your chest. Making your breath expansive and fluid. Inhaling to fill up your belly, chest, rib cage. And exhale fully to melt even deeper into the earth, becoming heavier and more relaxed for every exhale. And now bring to mind a situation in your life that you find challenging right now. What would you say if your inner child approached you with their feelings or thoughts or situation that you are experiencing? What words of encouragement would you share? It might just be a hug. If so, just envision yourself giving the little you a warm, big, long hug. We are all so much stronger than we imagine ourselves to be. We have so much strength within us because we are just an extension of the universe, and the universe has infinite love and light. So use that when you feel that you are experiencing tough situations. Just draw upon the energy of the universe, the infinite love that is accessible to you at any time. Breathing deeply into your heart, and then exhale to begin bringing your knees towards your chest, giving yourself a little hug here. Rocking from side to side, massaging out your lower back, and then letting your both knees fall over towards the left side, extending your right arm out towards the right side, gazing over your right shoulder, bringing your left hand towards your right knee. Perhaps you place your right knee on a block or a cushion if it doesn't reach the floor. You can also extend the left leg if that feels better. closing down your eyes here. So now let's bring some more joy into this practice. I would like you to think about your favorite toys, games, books and movies you liked when you were younger. Maybe you were like me, dreaming away in the fantasy worlds of J.K. Rowling or Narnia or Lord of the Rings. What characters did you love in the books and movies? Who did you look up to? What about them or these toys and games did you enjoy or find expansive and fun? And then beginning to untwist, releasing your right leg back down towards the ground, hugging your left knee in this time and letting it fall over towards the left side, extending your left arm out towards the left side. So left knee towards the right side, left arm towards the left side, gazing over the left shoulder, and then closing down your eyes. Feeling the twist from your abdomen area. Fully surrendering and letting go. Don't clench to anything. Just soften, soften, soften. Breathing deeply into your belly. Twists stimulate our digestion and aid our release of toxins from our body by massaging the internal organs. They also activate our rest and digest nervous system very efficiently. And then beginning to bring your left knee back towards center, hugging both knees in towards your chest. If there's any other pose you would like to do at this time, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can begin making your way into a comfortable position for our final posture, Shavasana. Letting your feet fall about mat width apart, opening up like a book. Relaxing your hands, palms facing up towards the sky to receive, or down to ground the energy. Letting your hips and shoulders fall really heavily into your mat by relaxing these areas. Unclenching your jaw, softening the space between your eyebrows, closing down your eyes really gently, and letting go of any tension that is still left in your face by relaxing all the muscles in your face, and there's a lot of them. Feeling your entire body heavy here, and just allow yourself to drift off into this deep state of relaxation. Gently begin bringing awareness back to your body, deepening your breath and inviting some movement into your fingers and your toes. And then in your own time, bending into your knees, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. As you begin to awaken, you can bring your feet mat width apart and allow your knees to fall into the midline of the mat, kissing each other. And then rolling over to one side, finding a fetal position. And with your eyes still closed, in your own time, make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Thanking this inner child version of yourself for any messages you have received. Acknowledge and love it dearly. Placing your hands in front of your heart. Thank yourself and your body for your commitment to your health and well-being and for showing up today. Thank you so much for joining me for this Yin Yoga class. Easing out of this practice, take your time to integrate, reflect, and perhaps journal on any insights you received. I hope you have a beautiful and peaceful rest of your day. From my heart to yours, lots of love.